Hey, good afternoon all. Great to see so many people again. When I entered here on Monday, it felt like coming home. So, my name is Edwin Weidema. I work for Veeam. I'm specialized in cybersecurity and data management. Also a VA expert for 13 years, so you see a lot of stars. So, I'm really curious how Corey is going to fit a 14th if I'm being extended. So, that will be interesting. I want to take you on some of my journeys. A lot of customers I speak to are or afraid of being hit by ransomware or are already being hit by ransomware. So I want to take you on that journey and some field experience and things I picked up and share that with the community. So risk and relevance and odds. So luck, probability, let's talk about probability there. So if you talk about probability, we talk about gambling, right? So let's take the roulette wheel. If you go for black or for red, how much odds do you have? How much percentage? 48.65. Because there's a zero on there, so the house always wins. And if you have American roulette, there's also a double zero there. So there is even less that you're going to win. But that's for the black and the red. So let's take a number. That's 2.7%. Why I'm taking those numbers there? Because if you look at disasters and where we all prepare for, it's like storm, flood, tornadoes. On the other side, ransomware. But if you look at those numbers and compare them, it's like this. Black or red for ransomware. But a single number for those others. But we are prepared for those, right? We're not really prepared for that one. As long as I've seen so far in the field, a lot of people have luck, so we will zoom into that one. But can you predict a disaster? I think you can, because we do a survey every year, and that's a data protection trends report. It's done by an independent party, a lot of people. And when I got these first numbers back in raw format, I was, hold on, did they make an error? Let me roll up, because I'm a picture-oriented guy, so this is much easier. 24% are likely unaware of any attack or haven't been attacked. I've seen the numbers for this year. That number goes down to 15%. So more and more people are being hit there. So let's look into that, because I took two field cases. Field case number one. Ransomware was coming in. That customer had two data centers, and they synced their snapshots between the storage. They were not a Veeam customer, by the way. We were talking to them about protection, that sort of stuff, but no, they were not a customer at that moment in time. But they got hit during our engagement there. So what happened? Unavailable two data centers, both encrypted. You start calling, forensics party comes in, law enforcement comes in. And what happened, and that was a shock also for me 4 years ago, there's a ribbon around it. Crime scene, do not cross. So you have two data centers, but the forensics are going to take for 3 months, they told us. Hold on, 3 months? We cannot stop the business for 3 months. What are we going to do? So that's why we said, okay, consulting with the forensics party, can we make a cut? So we break the data centers, do an installation on the other one, wipe everything. Sorry, you cannot. Why? Because that's all a crime scene. Yeah, but they also have some VMs in the cloud. So are you going to call AWS for that one? Good point. So they said, okay, let's break that and spin it up. That's the whole case. Connecting that one. And what we could do is, because there was HPE there was in sync, we could get the snapshots from the other side. They could just roll back to that moment in time when ransomware hit. We connected there and we started doing recoveries. But for going through the forensics party, because they wanted to see if there's anything in there, so it took time. But what I took from this case is about preparation. How to recover? That's one of the questions that's never been asked, but how are you going to recover? And where are you going to recover? So zoom in, duration. If you look at your own organization, how fast can you recover? Within a day? Within a week? Within a month? Even longer maybe? And that's the whole case. Often it's longer. So how are you going to recover? Manual? Automated? That's a choice to make. If it's a small organization, 30 VMs, you can do it manually. But I'm talking also to customers that have 10,000 VMs, and someone just wanted to push the button and restore everything. Please don't think before you push that button. And the other one is where, so which location. Make sure that you place a backup somewhere where you have access to, but also where your disaster recovery organization or infrastructure is going to be. At one customer, backups going to AWS, disaster recovery in Azure. The egress cost coming out was also not pretty. So think before. So the first 48 hours are crucial. There's a lot on this slide, but one thing to think about, it's about communication and collaboration. What are you going to do in the first 44 hours? Run into another room, scream everything you want, then come back and start thinking logically, instead of acting at that moment in time. So field case number 2. One data center, organizations got hit. The CISO got a phone call when he was fishing with his son. And he started thinking, hold on, you're saying that everything is going to be really slowly, something is going on there. Can you please unplug the backup? So they unplugged the backup. That was their salvation, because everything was encrypted there. What an issue was in this case, because we had one data center, no copies anywhere else, they had their password manager on their production side. You see what it is? It's encrypted. So it's really safe now. We cannot access any username and password. So they had a real challenge on their hands. Oh, hold on. Then one of the admins said, I was not allowed to, but I made a copy for home because I work from home because of some medical issues, but I have a copy. So we said, oh, please hug that guy, but please don't kill him yet. We have a talk later on after all processes because he was the key to the recovery. That also was luck. And as you can see, these are already 2 field cases. I have multiple field cases where everyone survived because of luck. That's scary, to be honest. So, a second data center, they had no hardware. So, phoning, trying to rent hardware. That was almost the same as what they had. Fortunately, they could do that. If you do that nowadays with all constraints in the whole supply chain, we have a different issue there, so also think about that one. Where are you going to? How are you going to? And on which hardware or in which cloud are you going to recover? So don't panic. That's also what we told them. But one thing on this one is important. That's the last one. Do not power down your servers. Because as a forensics party, we're coming in, you want to see something, it's in memory. If you power down, it's lost. That trace is lost. Also, if you power up again, a lot of ransomware is just waiting that you power up and type in the administrator and password. Enter, and there we go. They are in. So that's important there. So secure our site. But we found also in that second case some other things they missed because the password vault was encrypted. Business continuity plan on production. License with all installation, all fields and keys on production. Contact details of important contacts. I think you can imagine now and guess what it is. Installation media, and they could download that, but they needed an account for that. So username and password. Oh yeah, that was encrypted. Ultra-resilient backups. That's where you want to go, because that's also what you want to have off-site. So all of these, make sure you have it somewhere else. And the last one is not the least, secure storage of certificates. Because those certificates help you get out of encrypted machines. Because you could say, okay, I make a choice. I encrypt everything, or they encrypt everything. It's good that you encrypt it, because if they steal it, they cannot read it because of exfiltration. But make sure that you have something there, and that you can restore those encrypted VMs. So, solving the ransomware puzzle. 32110. Who knows about this rule? Who doesn't know about this rule? Hey, you thought you could easily come off there, but 3 different copies. 2 different media, 1 is offsite, and we added 2 as theme. 1 offline, air-gapped, or immutable, because you want 1 copy that's ultra-resilient there. And also 1, or the 0 for making sure, test your backups. If you take backups and you don't test them, they are worthless. I've seen too many customers coming in, yeah, we have a backup, but I don't see anything in it. Yeah. Did you test it? No, we didn't. Okay, there we go. So make sure that you have that one. That's 1 puzzle piece you will need to solve the ransomware puzzle. The second one, design for recovery. what we did in the past, 100% backup, because that's foundation, right? We need that stable stakes, we just need a backup. And we did 3 to 5% restore. Someone tripped over something, this burned down, someone deleted accidentally a file, needed to go back there. Now it's 100% backup, 100% restore. Because if you're being greeted in the morning by a red screen screaming at you, please enter Bitcoins, that's scary, and you have to restore everything. But yeah, I also have been a solution architect in the past, and we all designed our infrastructures right for backup. Smallest footprint as possible. Incremental should fit in the 24-hour window, so 5% change rate, only 5% goes through in 24 hours, and make sure that's economically feasible. So make it as cheap as hell. Now, you have to rethink that, because if you have to put everything back, that means that your infrastructure needs to be 20 times bigger to have the same speed as your recovery, or as your backup. Think about that one. So think about designing for recovery. And that's solving the ransomware puzzle. Because you're controlling risk. It's not just about technology. Those other two are much more important, but they're all tied together. People, process. So know what's going to happen. So if someone phones you, your reception, are you being hacked? Do you have ransomware? That the receptionist knows, hold on, I will get you someone else. They will talk to you. All the processes around it. How do you do your disaster recovery, your business continuity? But also making sure that you have technology in place. Creating layers of resilience instead of layers of protection. They both matter, but creating layers of resilience is important there. So design for recovery. Keep the laws of physics in mind. Some people think that they can blow a lot of data through that really tiny internet connection line back from the cloud on-prem. You have latency there. It's small, so think about that. So if you followed all those best practices, I want you to have this. I want to give you a coin there, because those two, 32110 rule, design for recovery, add best practices for hardening, cybersecurity, that sort of thing, I will give you this. Because if you follow that and ransomware does hit, you get that extra life. Get out of it, you can go back. So that's one of those interesting things. They always ask me, can you solve the ransomware puzzle? Yes, we can. But we all have to step up our game about designing how we do things. So some extra resources. Oh, let me go that one. Best practice paper, a white paper is tied to the NIST, what we can do in any of those 5 areas, 5 functions. The Veeam Community Resource Hub, I'm also in that cybersecurity space. I'm posting more and more in there for extra information, giving you that information and work with it. But I also like you to comment on it. I'm also just one man's army. But together, as a community, we can beat this. Other one, the Veeam Architect side, if you're running Veeam, look on there, there's some really good best practices, and they all come from the field. Not from a lab, from the field. Also blog on veeamguru.com. I'm doing a hardening piece now, so different series there. Starting from physical security. And a lot of people overlook that because I come into doors and people will see, hold on, that data room is open. And we're talking about cybersecurity, right? So there we go. I want to say thank you very much. Is there a slide behind it? No. If you can fill in the survey, really appreciate that one. If you have questions, I will be later on there. Thank you very much.